Well, hey guys, welcome to another Monday morning chat with my two favorite people. Okay, two of my favorite people. It's probably nice to say that so I don't snub all the other people in the world. Stephanie and Zella from Spokane, Deer Park, Spokane County. Hi, ladies. How are you today?
Good. We're good. How are you?
I am well. Thank you so much. We had a fun conversation. We've had a few conversations fun about different areas. What are we going to talk about today? What area in and around the Spokane area?
We are going to talk about the Mead area, which is going to sit on the north side of Spokane.
Okay. So is it like attached to Spokane and just north of it, or how far away?
It actually is within Spokane City. It's not going to be outside of city limits. It's
Okay.
more or less like a community that you within Spokane City. So it's not its own municipality like the Valley, like we had discussed last week.
Directly north of downtown Spokane by probably about 30 minutes. Some places might actually hit that 45 minutes depending on where they're at. But then it's also south of Deer Park, like we had mentioned in one of our previous videos. So it's kind of that little in-between spot.
Got it. Got it. Got it. So tell us about Mead, Washington. What's going on there?
All right, the Mead market. What do we got for you today? There are 82 active homes on the market within Mead and 26 pending. So, I mean, in comparison to other areas, that is a good number of listings. However, 82 is definitely not a huge number that we would like to see for a community like that. We would much rather see it in the hundreds, but we'll take 82, that's for sure.
Fair enough.
Within those 82 active listings, though, I'm going to let Steph tell you about the mean price point. What do we got there for the bulk of the homes?
So Mead is actually above what I would say Spokane's average household price is. And typically you're going to find something around 575 to 800,000 actually.
That is a little higher.
It is. That one actually consumes a little bit more than probably even half of what's left of the active, excuse me, of the active listings. The reason being for that is a lot of the homes that are in that area come on a larger lot. And then they also are a little bit bigger footprint. They're also, I would say probably the development in the Mead area really started to boom in like the 70s, where in some of the other municipalities, and actually it's not municipalities, but the other locations like the South Hill, Spokane Valley, stuff like that, those homes were oftentimes older, and they came with a larger footprint, like we talked about, the density, all of the above. Mead is not as a high dense area. You do get, those quarter acres is typically the minimum size, but you'll find a lot of them that actually come with land because that covers all the way out to like Peone Prairie area, Green Acres, stuff like that. Not Green Acres, Green Bluff, sorry.
Yeah.
So with those houses, you also have like these little subdevelopments as well, but they're not often HOA developments. A lot of them are CC&R. So they're really, really well kept homes up in the Mead area. And
I feel like the late 90s, early 2000s is where it took its like, they started in the 70s and then late 90s, early 2000s, it boomed. And that area grew, is where it took its biggest growth leap. And since then, it's just been continuously growing and expanding. So she had mentioned the price point of 575 up to like 800 has the bulk of the homes. The average price in the Spokane area is 400,000. So that'll just an idea how much more the homes in general are going. They're averaging actually right at that 575 point for Mead particularly. And then under that 400,000 average price point, you're only going to find 7 active listings within Mead.
Oh, wow. So just for my reference, I always like to know what's the high and what's the low listing price right now in that area.
Actually, that one is totaling coming into 16 houses available, and that's going to be 800,000 to like above 2 million, basically.
2 million. Wow. And how about the low? What's the lowest price that's there?
330.
Okay,
330.
that's a range. That's a first-time home buyer home.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, actually, I want to correct myself. The actual highest listing point, I'm sorry, is just sitting under 1.4 million.
Oh,
So I apologize. And I would say the swing of that is going to again go to when you see a higher price point like that, it's going to be probably one of those newer builds on some land, because that has definitely come up to this area, especially since 2020, 21, that hot market. People moved up because it's a bit more rural, if you will, but not fully. There's a lot of infrastructure that has come into the Mead area, including like there's a brand new Costco. There's other shopping centers. There's lots of grocery stores. There's actually 2 high schools, several middle schools.
They actually just rebuilt a whole new up on the hill, 5 Mile Prairie.
Yeah. My daughter goes to school up in one of those schools. Actually, the brand new middle school, brand new elementary. There's a lot that goes on up in the Mead School District.
Yeah, sounds like it. So good schools, relatively new and good schools, would you say?
It is a great school district.
Highly sought after. Yeah.
We love some of the outdoors that the Mead area has to offer. The Little Spokane River goes through the Mead area. There's amazing hiking trails right up there.
Yep.
So we love enjoying that. Oh, back to the market part. We forgot to tell you. The homes on market in Mead, they had been averaging about 30 days on market, and it slowed down to about 60.
Wow.
I know. With winter time though, we had some really cold weather, all of
really cold.
Real cold. All the holidays. So that's typical and kind of to be expected. You think it'll pick up?
Yeah, I definitely think that as we're starting to see these warmer days come back around, you're going to see a lot more people actively get out there shopping. I will say, I think we were just talking about this within our market center too. The people that are moving right now, it's more of those circumstantial life events are happening. People are getting divorced. People are passing away. They're having more babies. There's a job change. Like there's a lot of life happenings, which is forcing a lot of the sales, which I think also equates to that lower inventory than what we would typically see. Because people realize, well, if I sell my house, where am I going to go? But there's a lot of people that are still like, but I have to sell my house. So that's where I think you will see, that inventory. But I have a feeling it'll start to pick up per usual in the springtime. We're a very seasonal driven community.
Very seasonal.
Yes. Well, springtime and lower rates that we have right now, both of those things will probably pick up activity, I would suspect.
Hopefully.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Come on, low rates.
So, the geography of Mead, is there a separation, something that causes the home to be worth 1.4 million versus 300,000? Is there like a bluff with a great view of the whole area that all those expensive homes are on, and where are they at?
We have the prairies, and which are these amazing open grasslands that sit up higher, and you can overlook. You're going to see Mount Spokane. You're going to see all of your surrounding mountains. What area? Favorite? I know she has a couple of favorite areas in Mead that are super beautiful.
Yeah, so what she's talking about would be on the east side of I would call it like, Mead kind of runs into like a valley, if you will. So if you were to run straight up Division and then all the way north, you have to the east, which is Mount Spokane, Pion Prairie, and then on the other side, so the west side,
Prairie too.
Yeah, so you have them on both 5 Mile Prairie, which overlooks all of like the Little Spokane, but then also the Spokane River, which feeds into like the Suncrest 9 Mile area. And that's where it's really pretty. That looks down south towards the Palouse Highway if you were to be heading down towards like Pullman.
Some of these homes are going to be waterfront with that Little Spokane. Yep. You're going to have waterfront homes. That's going to add a lot of value for your price.
Yeah.
And then, like she had mentioned earlier, your acreage. So you're going to have homes that are close to town. That's going to be on 5+ acres of land. Yep. So that's also going to add a lot of value to these homes.
There's actually quite a few, I shouldn't say quite a few. There's a few options for like 55 and up communities, which those homes, they actually sit at a higher price point as well. I've shopped for several folks in those like those neighborhoods. There's typically some sort of a waiting list to get in, but people like that because it's quieter than the city, but it's not as far out, like, Deer Park, Suncrest, stuff like that we're in. So it gives them all of their amenities, but then that little bit slower pace is why I think a lot of people like that area.
Okay.
Fun fact that she said too, with having some waterfront properties, with that Little Spokane, there's a natural wildlife preserve
I love it.
that runs through where's it?
Oh,
Waikiki area, yeah,
Yeah.
Painted Rocks, Bacon area.
There's also the Kalispell Country Club, so nice 18-hole like golf course community as well.
Yeah.
But if you buy on the Little Spokane, I only know this because I floated this before. You actually, there's certain portions of the Little Spokane where you actually own the water rights. That's very uncommon with waterfront property. Oftentimes you only get an easement that sets into your property. This is the opposite. You own the water rights. So if you are floating in certain areas, you will absolutely
You do not get out of your kayak. You keep your little butt in that kayak.
Yes, because homeowners will come out and say, "Yeah, my property."
Yeah.
Well, they are absolutely correct.
Yeah.
You are on their property, so be careful if you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a
very
fun, beautiful.
interesting.
Yeah.
All right, I like it. Well, we'll have your contact information on the screen as always, ladies, but I don't know if I've asked you this many times. What's the best way to get a hold of you if somebody wanted to reach out and learn about Mead or the Valley or any of the other areas we've talked about?
Pick up your phone and call us.
Call us.
That's our favorite. Please call us.
We
All
don't
right,
mind,
well, that's what I do.
but we much rather call. There's always too many questions and conversations. It's much easier.
We like to
All right.
enjoy banter between people, so give us a call and we'll inform you of all the fun details.
Thanks again, ladies, for your time. Thanks for the information. It's always fun. It's always interesting. I really appreciate that. We will check in with you next time.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.